let's talk about wish listing and how it almost ruined my business because it was affecting my profits in the long term. Now, what is the first thing that we as business owners are told that we need to do before we do anything else? Come up with an ideal client avatar, right? And what is an ideal client? Well, basically, it's the type of person that you would love to work with. And this is where all the clarity usually ends. See, the problem is that people adhere to all sorts of myths when they try to identify their ideal client. I myself have succumbed to more than one, which is a major part of the reason why I was making so little money and working with people who just weren't right for me. One of the things I did wrong was wish listing. See, I was defining my ideal client based on all the character traits that I wanted him to have. You know, sense of humor, confidence, spirituality. But the truth is, I forgot a lot of very important things that most people don't think of either. So the person I concocted was somebody that I would gladly go out with, have dinner with, but not necessarily somebody that I would work with. So here's the thing, if you're picking your ideal client based on whether they are vegan or childless by choice or a spiritual person, then you're most likely not identifying your ideal client, you're identifying your future best friend. Because the truth is that it's a huge misconception that your ideal client needs to be somebody who would make a good friend or somebody that has to share all of your values. For a lot of us, that's very, very important, for sure. But it doesn't mean that this is the way to start. Instead of asking ourselves what character traits our ideal client should have, why don't we start with something that is a lot more important? Whether they can afford us or not. See, a lot of us create our social media content in a not very strategic way. So we talk to a lot of people, but we don't talk to the right people. For instance, if you want to target businesses who are middle-sized and already have employees, then it's probably not a great idea to be talking from the perspective of a solopreneur and giving advice to other solopreneurs. It sounds obvious, I know this, and yet a lot of us have made that mistake over and over again and still make it today. I, for instance, spent a lot of time during my career talking to people who have only been in business from 6 months to a year, which is great. I would love to help these people because nobody helped me when I was at that stage of my business. But the truth is, they cannot necessarily afford my coaching. They could, maybe, when I was charging $1,000, but not anymore. And here's the thing, I would love to be able to help everybody. That's why I put up so much content for free. But when it comes to my business, I have to reach my financial goals. And so should you. So above all, and this is something that we will touch upon again in the next few lessons, when you start thinking about who your ideal client is, make sure you're not wasting time identifying people who cannot afford any of your services. This is an entrepreneur's biggest mistake. They talk to the wrong people, connect with the wrong people, network with the wrong people, and worst of all, sell to the wrong people. Another thing to remember is the fact that your client is, let's say, a six-figure earner, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're taking everybody else out of the equation. See, you can still create lower priced products for the people who are not there yet. If you have a basic sales funnel and you're service-based, then you most likely have an entry product, a core product, and a master product.